I can see your screen. And then on Facebook, we can also, it's like a split screen. So hi everyone, if you're just logging in here and you're watching the replay, we're just doing a quick little skadoogie to make sure that we can hear ourselves. There we are. So if you can just quickly say something.
Hi guys, how's everyone doing?
Let's see. I can hear me. Look guys, we're on Facebook. Yay! All right, so we have sound, we are operating, and I am super excited today to have Hayley Elise Stewart, also known as He, from Tranquility by He, who is a maternity concierge, a doula, and birthing service company. I had to practice that a lot. And he is going to talk to us about her business, but she's also going to talk to us about what made her join the masterminds and what she's been getting out of it so far. So thank you so much for being here with us on the Savvy Business Show today. It is such an honor and pleasure to have you here.
Thanks so much for having me, and thanks to everybody for tuning in and taking time out of your day to be with Hanukkah and I. We appreciate it.
Yes, we certainly do. So let's get started with like how you even got to do the work that you're doing, because I think I speak for everyone if we're like, we don't meet a lot of people who have a maternity concierge business. So how did you get into this?
For sure. So I have a master's in human development and family studies. Before that, I studied psychology, and I was working with children on the autism spectrum. I was helping their parents navigate life with a child on the spectrum, but also navigating the public school system with a special needs child. I moved to Boston after grad school, and I was in the classroom of early education. I also did some time in early intervention, and I found that parents needed so much help in those very beginning days of their baby's life. And then when I began to look into the birth world, I found that women actually needed a lot of advocacy and guidance in the birthing realm. And the more that I have kind of delved into this realm, I have found so many disparities. There's so many broken links, and that is what Tranquility by He aims to do, is fix the broken links. And so you're right, not a lot of people have a maternity concierge, but almost every woman who births without us will say, where were you when I was having a baby? And yeah, you're right, we weren't there, but we're here now. So
yes,
that's good news.
Yes. And it's so great, that you have this, because I do believe, like you said, like this is that you are delivering such a valuable service to all mothers to be and moms out there. So it's great that you have found your passion and that you are now helping women out there to just have a way better experience throughout the whole process of being pregnant and giving birth and after that. So we are so grateful to have you here. Now, actually, before we start about like what made you join the mastermind, I think I want to go back, because you were definitely one of the people that took the longest to make your mind up about joining the mastermind. So I want to kind of talk people through that process, because I feel like a lot of us, we're like, should I join a mastermind, or should I make this investment in my business? And so what ultimately was it that finally, talk us a little bit through so just do that one more time. So what was it that like made you the decision-making process? We just lost you for like a brief second.
Oh no.
Yes.
I'm back. Okay. So for me, it was more about the people who were in the mastermind. So I just said this, I'm not sure if you caught it or not, so I'll re-say it. But for me, the idea of coaching is this really abstract thing, and I wasn't sold immediately that I needed somebody to guide me through this. I was not raised in a family where, like, you sought out outside help for that coaching stuff, right? And so for me, it was like, why do I need a stranger to coach me through this? And I quickly found that yes, it has a lot to do with your coach. You need to make sure that they're aligned with you and also your personality. and that they deliver things in a way that you receive them. But also the people that are in your mastermind, for me, that was the tipping point. So I made sure that the ROI was there, right? I wanted to make sure that my return on investment was there. I wanted to make sure that you were a good fit for me. And so that is actually one of the things that made me take the longest as well. I wanted to see who you truly were. So I watched you for a really long time, which sounds very, very...
Yes, she did.
If you are an entrepreneur, you will understand this. For me, this was like partnering. So I'm endorsing you anytime that I speak about this, and it has changed my business. And so I speak about it often, and I wanted to make sure that it was a genuine recommendation when I gave it over. And so, yeah, watching you for a bit was it, but the tipping point for me was the people that were in the mastermind too.
And I'm so glad you just brought that up, right? Because I actually just created this little download that I will also pop in the comments for us below in just a second. But I created this download about the 5 questions that you have to ask yourself before you join a mastermind. So I am happy that what she did, right? Because I want you to make sure that the people are for you, that the goals are aligned with your goals, right? What is it that you are wanting to get out of your business? And is that what this mastermind is promising you to do? And then thirdly, yes, absolutely, you have to make sure that the person who's running the mastermind is someone that you jam with and that's also qualified to do what it is that they're doing. So like 100% for you for taking that time, and like really making sure that this was what it, you wanted it to be for you. And now I want to know, so you said it was ultimately the people in the mastermind. So what have you gotten from them so far that's just made it a good return on investment for you?
Yeah, so for me, it's people who have been in business a little bit longer than me. So I always try to be like the least knowledgeable person in the room, because I always want people to be smarter than me. I always want people to be in business longer than me, more successful than me, well connected, more connected than me. I always want to be kind of on the lower side of the totem pole in a room, because I want to learn from those people. And so for me, the masterminds were actually a big thing. So that's something that we do in the mastermind, is we have these dinners. And for me, it was a really powerful thing to see these people like in the flesh, because there is something to be said for in-person meeting. Virtual is awesome. I run a lot of my business virtual. It's how we have such a great reach, but there is also something to be said in person. And so for me, that was a huge selling point, to see these people in the flesh and hear their stories. And yeah.
Yeah, right. And I so agree, like, right, that we are starved for connection. So that was definitely something that I wanted to bring into this mastermind. And there's more coming your way in the future if you're now looking in, kind of going, I want to join this. If you don't live in Boston, there's more things coming your way. But my big thing here is to create connection and community, because as entrepreneurs, we are constantly by ourselves, and you're in your own head. And so we crave that human connection, but then also we need that soundboard. We need those people that we can really go and tap for information or resources or ideas whenever we need it. So what would you say has been your biggest accomplishment since you've been in the masterminds?
Probably setting boundaries in my own business, which is so ironic to say because it's something that I preach every day. But I mean, when you get hee-hee, you get like the authentic hee-hee, and I'm human, so I grow just as much as everybody else, just in a different way. And right now I'm growing in my business, and that means setting boundaries. And Hanneke, if I may back up a little bit, I wanted to mention too that the perspective that I get in the group is very different, because not only do I do very different work than everybody, but people don't do similar things even in the group for me. And so it's great. I do really heavy work. Birth work is kind of heavy.
Yes, that's heavy lift. We're going to put that in the heavy lifting category for sure.
For sure. And so people have a new perspective on things, and it keeps it light for me. And I also don't have to reinvent the wheel for things that they know, because I'm already reinventing the wheel for the birth world. I'm already reinventing the wheel because I didn't like what the birth world looked like. And so the business world it's nice for me able to rely on the group.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that that's working too. Yeah. And again, that's another thing that makes Mastermind so great is when you have a group of people around you. Yes, they help you to stay accountable. And yes, like all of those wonderful things are happening. But what's also happening is all of a sudden you have these people that believe in you. They believe in you, but then they also challenge you. And I'm so glad you just brought that up because I do really try when I put my groups together to get everybody to be bring a different quality and challenge each other, right? So you're getting very varied opinions and ideas, and you can walk away and go, okay, so what works for me? But I've also been challenged to think about things a little differently, which brings us actually to the whole, the mission of the Mastermind is to transform you into a savvy CEO, working less and earning more. So in that realm, what would you say, how has the Masterminds helped you to really step into that CEO role and own that?
Yeah. So I'm in the process of getting to the work less and make more stage. And so what the masterminds have done is taught me how to put that structure into place so I can get there. And I'm well on my way. So I
Yes,
know all
you are.
the mastermind really. So yeah.
Yes, you are. I always love it when I get an email from Hihi. It will be like, I'm channeling my inner CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're doing so well. Yes, Hihi. So anything else that you'd like the audience to know, like about the masterminds or just about, I'm going to go into where can we find you. But first, is there anything else that we left out that you still wanted to say?
Just that if you're a small business owner out there listening, one of the most valuable things I learned, and I had to learn this the hard way, is that if you actually submerge yourself in your own industry, you won't grow that much because all the people are trying to do the same thing. So you should step out of your industry. And Hanukkah and the masterminds do that for me. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I pulled the trigger and it turned out well for me. So I can only encourage you to do the same.
Oh, I love you, Hihi. So, what I was also going to say is, what you just added there is so valuable. Please, guys, stop just networking in your own industry. Get out of your industry because that's where you get all the cool ideas and the things that are going to set you apart. So, thank you for bringing that to our attention again as well, Hihi. Now, where can we find you? If we have a pregnant mama watching right now or someone with a small child, I know like you, he has got some wonderful things coming up. She has a retreat coming up. That's going to be amazing. But yeah, tell us a little bit about the retreat actually while we have you here.
Cool. Thank you very much. The retreat is going to be on February 23rd and 24th. The first day is for expectant mamas. We're going to do things like pushing and learning how to prep for your newborn and care for your newborn. The second day is for moms, expectant parents, but also moms with children, young children up to the age of 10 or so. And we'll talk about balance, gut health, anxiety, balancing all the pieces of motherhood. Otherwise, you can check me out at www.tranquilitybyhihi.com. And I also have a podcast. It's the Tranquility Tribe podcast. You can find us anywhere that podcasts are. And my Instagram is a fun place to hang out.
Yes.
I show you real life stuff, and it's usually hilarious because my life is insanely hilarious.
It kind of is if we think what you do for a living. And yes, absolutely. Do go and follow Hihi because she is so authentic and real on Instagram. You really get the real deal. And her podcast is amazing. So definitely go and follow her. Hihi, thank you so much for being here and helping the audience understand masterminds a little better, what they can do for your business, and then specifically how the Savvy Business Masterminds can help you as well. Thank you guys for being here. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
That